you see author Joanne Antoun's videos on YouTube, you're immediately struck by her energy. An accomplished speaker in her native Australia, Joanne's book, Know Yourself, Know Others, reveals a powerful system for determining personality types and how you can tap into that potential. Joanne's Life Guide system is a numerology-based system that allows you to quickly and easily determine other people's personality types as well as your own. Imagine having a better understanding of yourself and the people around you. So many problems can be avoided and questions answered. Joanne spoke with Diane Ray to explain how her transformative system works.
Joanne, I'm so happy you could join us from Australia today.
Oh, thank you so much, Diane. It's really lovely to be able to speak with you.
So I was reading over the book and I checked out your website and some of your YouTube videos, and people are just really transformed by this process. And I watched you doing a live event, and it was really pretty amazing. So I'm really interested to find out more about your work and what you do. What was really the catalyst to write this book, Know Yourself, Know Others?
Oh, the catalyst to writing the book, having been a successful therapist for many years and wanting to offer my clients and students more was probably the catalyst. I'm also very familiar with the MBTI and Enneagram and numerology, of course, but all of those systems either require you to answer a lot of questions or to do various calculation methods with numerology, for instance, to have a complete chart. And what I was wanting was one method, one calculation method, basically one system, a really simple system that would allow me to give my clients, students, and of course the readers an in-depth analysis into their personality, where they're at, their potential, etc.
Now, you're also the creator and trainer of CTC, and I loved the other acronym, I guess, for that, Cut the Crap, which I think should be said for a lot of programs, let's just cut the crap. So I was hoping you could explain what CTC is to the listeners.
Okay. Well, actually, the proper term is Cut the Crap for CTC. That's what it was at its birth, but I'm actually now a training therapist, so I thought I should probably have a more formal title. So therefore, we changed it to the Combined Therapy Cocktail. But look, everybody seems to love Cut the Crap, as well as myself, of course, because that's what we're doing. We're cutting the crap. It's a combination of modalities, including but not limited to neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom technique, Reiki, hypnosis, and anything else I feel I need to pull into the mix. I use my highly intuitive abilities to scan, looking for blockages, and most importantly, the root causes. I am a teacher of these modalities, and whilst they're all incredible, I found that when I was working with just one at a time, it wasn't giving the transformation that I was wanting for my clients. So I started reinventing, mixing and mashing everything until I came up with what is now known as the CTC. The two things that I believe make this session so transformative are the fact that we're working on the level of mind, body and spirit in the one session, freeing you of the limiting beliefs, negative emotions, fears, phobias, anything at all that's holding you back from being the best that you can be is gone. And most importantly, that the root cause is actually targeted, that very moment in time where because of your reaction to an experience, you downloaded a program that has since continued to play out as patterns in your life that don't serve you. It's incredibly transformative. I have clients all over the world, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently training a new generation of incredibly gifted CTC practitioners.
Well, as I was reading the book, I found the whole process really fascinating, and I was reading through the chapters of the different categories of the personality types, and the Life Guide system I thought was really interesting. So I did the numerology with my name and birth date to come up with my personality type. So I'm a 6. And I thought, okay, well, let's see what this is about. So I immediately flipped to the chapter, of course, to see what a 6 is. And a lot of it's really right on. Now, I know you can't be, there's always going to be variables, right?
Yeah.
But it was really a lot of it very accurate. So I thought that was fascinating. So how would you suggest people work with the book? Do you think they should do like I did and, read through it and find out your number and then kind of go right to that? Is that what most people do, right to that chapter?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's not the kind of book that you would read cover to cover. Of course, you start by, as we all do, we start by working our own personality type out and thoroughly going through that, and then you work through everybody in your family and pick on them. I've tried to cover absolutely every aspect of the personality type. So if you imagine life to be a ladder, and depending on what rung you're standing on, this is how your world looks and how you behave. So, as an example, if you're standing on the bottom rung, living in a detrimental state, this is how your life looks and how you behave. And if you choose to live on the higher rungs in a more enlightened state, then this is how your life looks and how you behave. So it covers, the entire bandwidth, so to speak. And look, there are parts that you might read that you look at and you go, I know that's exactly how I used to be, but I've grown out of that. And there are other parts that you'd read and very clearly, you'd see that I know I have that kind of potential. And I've called the calculation method the life guide system because that's what it's about. It's about guiding you through life to, or towards your highest potential.
Well, you're right about that because as I was reading through my type, I thought, that's true. Maybe I was like that, like you said. So I did notice traits that have changed and evolved. Some of the real basic personality traits were there. They were the same.
Yeah. And do you find yourself, Diane, having to double and triple check things? Like, for instance, you're going away for the weekend and you go back in the house and just make sure that you've locked everything up.
All the time. I thought that was just OCD.
Yeah, that's a classic fix.
That's another thing I have to work on. But I can see where, working with this system will really get you to ask some of those questions and have you kind of peel back the layers and be a little bit more self-aware, which is what we're trying to do, right, on this journey.
Yeah. Look, I do cover it all, and I'm certainly known for being very direct, but whilst being told about your strengths and having your ego stroked might feel lovely, we really don't learn much from that. So, it is really about acknowledging the things that we need to work on. Your strengths are your strengths and they're a natural ability for you, but rather than avoiding your weaknesses, it's important to not only recognise them and work on them, but work with them because you can turn them into even greater strengths than you could possibly imagine.
What do you hope that people get after they read this?
Look, a greater insight not only into yourself and how to more easily reach your own potential, but to gain a greater understanding of others and how they operate, maybe why they do the things that they do, because not everybody does everything out of malice, but sometimes people just express things a certain way and it's just because they're hardwired that way. So in understanding how others operate as well, it makes you a better communicator because then you can speak to them in a way that they might better understand. And it's probably a good idea that you have a look at their section too. But we do become better communicators when we have a better understanding of ourselves and others.
Now, how can people find you? I mentioned that you're on YouTube and you have your website. So that would be the best place. Is that right?
That's right. And the website is just in my name. It's JoanneAntoun.com. That's JoanneAntoun.com.